Yo, what's going on, man? You guys are now tuned back into the Free Sauce Podcast. We got another fucking banger of an episode, man. But you already know, before we get into the episode, make sure y'all keep on hitting that subscribe button below. We on the run to 100. Make sure y'all hit that like button below, boost the numbers up, and comment as well. Just keep on tuning in with the Instagram. We got a lot of big things coming. Got some merch coming. Got a lot of big guests coming. Banger episodes, man. Just keep on tuning in, keep on working with us, and we're gonna work with y'all, man. But without further ado, man, we're gonna let our guest go ahead and introduce himself, man.
Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Damola, CEO of Mol Sports. Mol Sports is a sports management marketing agency that I started about 2 years ago. Right now it's pretty much growing. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Every day, constantly, we're having new ideas coming up, new big announcements on the way. Deals coming in, and I'm blessed, and I appreciate you guys for having me on board. Big ups to you guys, because when I first got on the podcast, we were in E-Man's kitchen doing this. Now we on camera, we got the mic, got headphones now. That's big improvement. I just wanted to say congratulations, and you guys got big things on the way.
Sure, appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate that.
No problem.
So, Mol Sport.
Yes, sir.
How did that idea come along?
Man, so Mol Sports basically started when we were on lockdown. So me being at home, it was like, I remember when I made this post on Facebook the day we got out of school. So they said, "Oh, we don't know when we're gonna come back to school." Then I made this post on Facebook. I said, "I'm gonna come out of this a different person," and not knowing I was gonna start a company. I was just saying to myself, when Corona is over with, I'm gonna be a different human being. That we was just on the game constantly. You imagine, we was on the game every day throughout Corona. Then I used to always watch basketball highlights. Then I turned to a LeBron documentary when he was talking about more than an athlete. Mm-hmm. Then Rich Paul came on, and I was just I could relate to what he does, being engaging with athletes, helping them with the process daily, every day. And I was just man, I want to get into something like this. Then I reached out to one of my mentors, who was also in the sports business. Walker, great guy of mine. He basically just said, I have a sports agent that I'll help you reach out to. His name was Cavier. I reached out to him. He told me a lot about the business. It's hard. I never knew, when me doing this right now, I had to tell him man, you were right. It's a cold business too. Then talking about it, then the idea, I was man, I'm going to start my own agency. That would be dope. And the name Mol Sports just came. Remember 8th grade?
I remember 8th grade. We went to the same elementary school.
Yeah, so we were in the classroom, and the teacher couldn't pronounce my name. She was just going through the board, and I was I'm just going to call you Mo. And I was just nobody ever called me that before. And I just said, I'm going to call it Mol Sports. Then I wrote it down. I didn't get started to launch it 2021 when I did my first open run, which was a big success. Shout out to everybody that came out that day. And after the open run, I had no idea what I was going to get myself into. It was just man, I want to keep this going. And we just did more events. Now look where we are today.
Yeah, man. One thing I want to touch on is, man, you said a lot of people don't realize this shit's hard. What you're doing, this shit's hard, man. You working with high school, college level athletes, so you working with 18, 22-year-olds.
Professionals too. Professionals too. Yeah.
But you working with people that got a lot of fucking schedules going on, so you got to work with them. You got a lot of people that manage as well. It's just a lot of moving parts. At the same time, you still up and coming as well. So it's you still trying to make sure you still learning shit as you going each and every day. So it's that's a big thing that people don't really realize. This shit is hard that he's doing. It's not a walk in the park. It's not no really set blueprint that you could take. You just got to take it day by day and adjust.
And the thing is, when you say it's hard, I'll say it's a blessing, because not a lot of people my age at 21 can find out what their true passion in life is. So me starting early with this, it's just it's a blessing. I can't take this for granted, because this is God telling me this is my purpose in life. This is what I'm meant to do. That starting at so young, that's why I bring so many people with the journey with me, because it's it's a blessing. God gave me a gift, and I'm going to use that gift to give back to others as well.
So you touched on bringing people alongside you. You know, like it's hard trying to pick teams. You know, it's hard trying to hand pick. Like, okay, I want you on my roster. I want this person on my roster. How do you like what type of qualities do you look for in a person to be able to be like, okay, I need you to make sure we go to the next level?
The type of qualities I look for is somebody that has the same type of mindset that I have.
And what's that?
Hard work, you know, never giving up. You know, you're gonna go through BS throughout the journey. You know, you're gonna have people come up to you and tell you like, man, like, if you don't like what you're doing, people gonna tell you like, man, we don't think it's gonna go far. You know, all that negativity is gonna come around with you through the journey. And you know, there's times when it's put me down a little bit. Like, man, like, am I really doing the right thing? Like, but you gotta constantly remind yourself, just keep going, because people are always watching. That's what I realized, that people are always watching. You never know who's watching. They may not like your post, but they're gonna come up to you in public and be like, hey man, I see what you. Yeah, so that's what I realized. Then like the kind of people I bring on board with me is people that they're gonna bring. How do you say? They're gonna bring value to the team. Yeah, value to the team. They're dedicated. You know, they actually want to be in this, because the sports business is hard. Because nowadays in social media, it's not like 10 years ago when it's like nobody knows what's really going on. Nowadays, this technology is like, every day something is happening in sports. Like anything can change. Like I'm sitting down right here, it's like somebody just signed a $400 million contract, and you just like, whoa, like you got to link into everything, like teams, expansion, everything, like new sports growing. Like LeBron just bought a pickleball team. Like I don't know what that sport is. So, yeah. So
It'd be hard sometimes too, though, because like you so focused on like what you bring to what type of values you bring to your team, but then you gotta also look at your competition. You gotta look around, because the sports world is a big world.
It's big.
It's really big. So it's just like, of all like the things you knew you could do, how did you just settle on and be like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go into sports. I'm gonna go into the sports world. It's just your love for sports. Like, what drew you into sports?
Man, it's my love of sports. So growing up as a kid, all I wanted to do was just watch sports. Every time there was like, my parents would just take my TV away because I would just watch games all day and forget to do my homework. Because the crazy thing about it is like, I used to come to school the next day. All I would just talk about was like the game that happened last night. Like, man, like, cause when I was growing up, it was the D Rose and the Chicago Bulls, the 2009, 2010.
Right.
So, you know, I was pumped up. So every day, you know, coming back from school straight, like, you watch D Rose. D Rose is like, I'm not gonna say, a lot of people are not gonna agree with me, was like Michael Jordan to me, because like all that stuff he did.
He was
like,
an icon in Chicago.
Yeah, like growing up in Chicago, like you coming in, you know, that year, a lot of people had his shoes on, so it was like this big thing going on. I play sports as well, but I was not good. But I thought, you know, if I keep working hard, it was gonna take me places. But you know, I realized what my passion was. I was like, I was like, man, like, that's another thing that helped me along the way. Just me being involved with other sports, not just basketball, like football and soccer, and like meeting people, you know. Like I always tell people all the time, the way you treat people is gonna help you in the long run. Like if I was an asshole to all these athletes in the beginning, you know, all these guys that are locked in with me, you know, we've known each other for like 10 plus years. Like I've known them since they were playing elementary school basketball. Now most of them D2, D3, D1, and it's a blessing because not a lot of agencies can get deals for D3 players.
That's facts.
And the fact that I have that going, it's like, man, like the future, the future is bright, because when I do capitalize on that big name is to the next level, and, you know, it's gonna happen. But you know, I'm just
you put in the work for it.
Exactly.
But you had mentioned basically like the first thing you had did was like through that open run. So like to anybody trying to get into it, was that, would you say like that was the first step for you, throwing that first like open gym? That's
it was the first step for me. So that open run was just, I was actually at E-Man's crib, and we were just sitting down, and he had a camera. So like, not knowing what we're gonna get ourselves into, you know, East Snap was not and developed yet. So we would just go to parks, you know, just stand outside. We would just take pictures of me. And I had the Mol Sports polo on. Then he was just like, man, we should do an open run. So I booked the gym. It was a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's an investment though. It's a lot of money, but it's an investment.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I give up a lot. I'm still giving up. But you know, did the open run, booked the gym. Then we reached out to a lot of players that came on. We had tremendous talent. Obviously, there was Raheem was there. Perry was there. Ali was there. That was my first time meeting Ali. And me and Ali are like, that's my boy. You know, that's my boy to the end. No, there was a lot of action. Like, I still got the video. Like, when I look at that video, it give me chills because it's like, man, like,
you put it together.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, growing up, nobody expected me to do something like this. Like, Austin, though, like, I used to have teachers come up to me like, man, like, by the time you're 18, we don't know where you're gonna end up. Like, yeah. So it was like me doing that was just like, man, I can actually do something with this. Like, this is my thing, and I gotta keep this going. And I remember my boy told, like, rest in peace, Tifo. He told me, he was like, Mol Sports is on the way, and that's the reason why I grind harder now than before, is because of him. That message he told me, because I can't relax, because I gotta take this to the top, because that's what he wants to see. So I gotta keep going. And after that open run, I actually moved on to football. We can discuss that.
No, but you were saying like it took one of your friends to be like, okay, I see something in you, let's go with it. How would you value that type of friendship? Because I feel like a lot of people don't got people around them that see value or see like the gift in them to like acknowledge it and let them know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I feel like those type of friendships should be like really, really well cherished. You know?
Yeah, I cherish that friendship. That's my boy. You know, I always tell people, like, even when he's not in the room,
right?
I always tell people, like, you know, you got it. Boy, got it.
And
like,
for all y'all that don't know, his episode gonna be dropping sometime soon. He snapped. Like,
yeah, he snapped. I tell everybody, like, there's no Mol Sports without email. Like, what even have a camera? I would just be, you know, just wandering around, like, trying to find where I was like, dang, like, what am I gonna do? Like, you know, who's gonna bring out contact for me? Then, like, he helped me a lot. He helped me a lot through the beginning. And that's my boy, you know.
yes,
It's just like, most of you know, like, this been going on for years. This friendship been going on for years, you know. You know, when he's 9, I always tell you, like, you got it for real. You know, with the camera, whatever you want to do, like, he got it.
and that's one thing too. Like, one thing I've realized too, though, is like success leaves clues. Like Ricky says all the time. So pretty much like it's just the fact that like you and your friends been 8-10 years into friendship, and now like you want to take your friendship to the next level. Like, how would you give advice to like people that are coming up that have friends and just trying to take their friendship to the next level? It's like business, you know? Because I feel like sometimes people fall out when it comes to business. That's friends, you know?
Of course.
So like, what would your advice be for friends that are coming up and trying to be like that?
My advice is, when you going through this journey, like I did, I'm not gonna say it was a mistake. It was a learning experience. So like, you just can't bring everybody with you along the way. You know, certain people are just, you know, certain people you just bring along. Like, when you do make, all right, I got you, whatever you need. But business wise, that friendship is closed out. Like, business is business, friends is friends. You know, that's my advice. My biggest takeaway was I was looking at this Instagram post and it said business before pleasure. Like, over pleasure. Then, you know, that's my advice I'll give people. Like, find that friend that you guys got the same thing, the same mindset. Like, okay, we can do this together. And we know how to separate business and friends. Like, when it comes to business,
We locked in.
Yeah, we locked in. But when we want to have fun, we can do whatever we want to do. Like,
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it was just finding the right friend for the right type of shit. Because you know every friend not gonna be a good business partner, but you probably got one out of the however many you got that's gonna be like, damn, if we really sit down and lock in on some shit, we could really make some shit happen.
Yeah.
And we build a team around us. I think we really be able to do some shit. That's the biggest thing.
that is the biggest thing, you know.
And going along the same line too, you had touched on football. So pretty much like football, you know? I feel like that's an American sport. Everybody love football. So like, how did you go about, you know, reaching out to like the football athletes? Because I feel like most of them already knew what their next step was, you know? So like, how did you go about reaching out to the football players and allowing them to believe in you and for them to also see the vision that you bring into the table?
So when I did football, it was around July.
Right.
You know, that during that period is like they're going back to school for camp. So it was hard, like, to find football players. You know, most of the guys, they came to my 7-on-7s. That my first one I ever did, it was high school players. You know, it was not nobody that was playing. It was, I think Armani was the only one there. Yeah,
Armani Dixon. He played for Tulane.
Man, like, Armani really just opened the door for football for me. Like, I always tell him that every time. He opened the door for me. And me working with him and the things we accomplished, other people saw it too. And they would always reach out to me like, man, like, come on, we want to reach out to you. Like, we want to work. You know, whatever you did for Armani, can you do the same thing for us? And I always tell him, like, come on, let's work. Armani pretty much started the whole football program for me. It was like, at first it was just him that I had. Then from Armani, we moved on to AJ Harris. AJ Harris plays at North Park. Terrific receiver, you know, which I believe can play on the Division I level. But he loves, you know, he wants to make history at North Park. You know, we talk about that later. Then from AJ, I moved to Jayceon Greathouse. It was AJ's best friend. Jayceon had a terrific season at JUCO. Broke all the sack records, defensive player of the year. Now he's at Southern University, HBCU school. You know, we don't talk like that no more, but I still wish him success. It's all love. It's all love.
So I was finna ask, like, you got a very, like, you in a weird position because it's like you got to form business relationships with these players, but you also got to form personal relationships because you got to get to know these people because you got to get to know what they like, what they don't like, what situations will work out for them, what situations probably wouldn't, and shit like that. So how do you go about, like, keeping the shit balanced, or I guess what's things you kind of do to build a personal and make sure we still got that business?
Yeah. So compared to other agents out there, I'm pretty much can relate to these guys. Being 21, most of these guys are around my age. So whatever they like, whatever they want to do, I could pretty much like, okay, yeah, like I'll do the same thing too. Like, you know, but that's why it's made it easier for me in the business world when I want to get something done for them, because it's like, you know, if I was an athlete, I'll put myself in those shoes being that age. Like, I would want this for myself. So they would want the same thing too. So yeah, it's just pretty much that personal age, how we can relate to each other age-wise.
It makes up for a lot of the gap.
Like, you know, a lot of, not to disrespect, a lot of old heads just look at these younger athletes as just like, they just want to play for money. But actually, you know, the money is fun. It's part, like, who doesn't want to make money?
Right.
But part of the game is mental health. Most of these guys, you know, every day they're constantly going through something, and like these coaches don't realize that. So it's like me coming in there. Not every day I talk about, oh yeah, football, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. You know, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, because I gotta think about their mental health as well, because they have so much going on, practice, school, personal life, games on Saturdays. They play bad, they gotta think about that over. So I gotta be that comfort zone for them, like, hey, whatever happens on that field, good or bad, I got you. I'm gonna talk for you, like, whatever they say. You don't gotta, no, you don't gotta handle that. I'm gonna take the dirty work. You just keep improving. That's the way I like to go while watching. I don't get no BS when people talk about there's no BS. Like, I was like, you know, they stuck with me up from the beginning, and I gotta stick with them to the end.
That's really good too. Like, them knowing they got somebody that is on their team, them knowing they got somebody that sees more than sports out of them. You know, because sometimes, like you said, sometimes coaches don't see past the player. They only see like you as a player, but sometimes you are a person too.
Yeah,
like,
of course. We are human beings.
Everybody go through shit. Some days you don't even want to be on the field for you. Some days you don't even want to go to practice for you. But it's like a coach will look at you like that's what you signed up for, you know? But then again, it's like sometimes you need to actually come back, relax, and just get your mind straight before you go on the field. And I feel like you being that leeway for them and being that comfort zone actually, in a sense, is a good thing for them to have. And also, going along the same line, like when you say you talk for them, you know? So pretty much like, let's say somebody wants to make a deal. You know, athletes could get paid now.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Let's say somebody wants to make a deal with one of your athletes. How do you go about like negotiating? Like, you know, like how do you close the deal?
So in the beginning, I didn't really know nothing about like negotiating a deal because deals was coming in slowly. Then it just took for one moment, and everything just started coming in at a fast pace. Like I had to tell myself, I had to just sit back and like, whoa, hold on. People just reaching out to me, and it was like, so this is how I'm gonna do this. When a deal comes in and they want to talk to so and so athlete, before I negotiate, I actually reach out to the athlete like, hey, you think this is gonna be good for you? Because what I learned in this business is like most of these guys, they aiming for the money. I mean the money, like I said before, like money is cool,
right?
But like you don't want to get in a deal when it's like it's gonna tarnish with everything you've done from the beginning. So I always reach out to them like, hey, you think it's gonna be good for you? Like
You read between the lines.
yeah, like because I don't want to get you in a deal when it's like not a good deal. Just make both sides look bad. Then we split off because this business, everybody talks. Everybody talks. It's like you go in a game. Somebody could be whispering about you like, man, that's the dude that got me in a bad situation. He right there. Then nobody even want to work with you. Like you can be from here one day and the next day, boom. That's how this business is, and it's hard. Like that's how it is.
I'm gonna say so. It's a big thing about reputation.
Big thing. I compare this journey to being a rapper.
Say reputation. It sounds like shit. Well, how you just explain this shit. Your reputation is all you really got. Because like you said, you fuck up an athlete name or a deal that they had going on or some shit like that. You just fuck up on the back end on the paperwork side. Like he said, every time he see you, hey, don't fuck with him. He did this for me. He didn't follow through like he said he was. This is that. So it's like keeping your reputation and your name clean is kind of like the biggest thing.
The biggest thing,
anything
man.
in business, not just sports agency. Any type of business. I think keeping your name clean is probably number one.
Oh yeah, it gotta be. It gotta
That's the
be.
number one key right there.
It gotta be. Also, like, it's just the fact that like you being that agency in the sports world, you gonna have to show a face on a regular basis. Damn near everybody gonna know your face by then. What you mean you gonna fuck up somebody else's deal? And then you expect everybody else to come back to you and be like, all right, bro, I got business for you. They're gonna look at you like you crazy.
It's like Rich Paul shit. He more known than some of the athletes that he got. And a lot of NBA players, period. He got a bigger following shit.
But people don't see it like, there's no sugarcoating. Like, I don't sugarcoat nothing. Like,
Yes.
this bit, like, everybody sees Rich Paul like, okay, this guy's done so many great things. Like, but there's also downside in it. Like, he's probably had bad days. We've all had bad days. Yeah, that we don't talk about. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like, oh yeah, everybody see Mol Sports on Instagram, like, the post, everything. But
You see the results.
man, but I've had a lot of L's in this journey. not So the L's that I took, it was like the L's like I just never imagined myself taking it because before I started Mol Sports, I was just basically like living that college life. So it's just like, man, like life is good, You're gonna have fun every day, moving around. This is it. Then like when I started that business, that L, it humbles you. Like it takes you to a different place. It's like you gotta sit back and just, reset yourself. Like, hold on, like this is real life. Like
This is no video game.
This is real life. Like it's a lot of sacrifices you got to take in this journey. Some days your friends may go out, and sometimes I got to miss out because it's like, man, like my business need me right now. There's a game going on. There's somebody reach out to me, or it's like I have a meeting the next day I got to be up for it. Or it's like my friends want to do something. I got to think about my pockets. Like, hey, like what if an emergency comes up in my business? Like, I gotta be prepared for that.
That's true.
You gotta be prepared for anything. That's what people don't see in the. Like, I may not talk about it because I'm not the kind of person just walk up to somebody like, hey man, I'm the CEO of Mol Sports. Like, look what I did. Yeah. This is it. I'm not gonna do that. I let my grind do the talking for me.
You behind the scenes.
Yeah, and it's like it was actually a lot of people actually pushed me out of my comfort zone because I'm not the type to just like go up to people like, hey, the public person. Like I was never the type, Some people may view me as shy. He's afraid to talk to people. But Nah, I wasn't. It's just I'm not that kind of person. I just like to stay in my zone. But getting out your comfort zone can take you places. You know, that's my advice to everybody. Don't be scared to get out your comfort zone. Don't limit yourself. You may fail, but when you fail, you learn something and you just reset yourself. Be like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do next time when I do approach this. So yeah.
Like, it's pretty much like every L you took was a lesson, pretty much.
It was a lesson. It was a beautiful lesson. It made me who I am today. You know, I don't take nothing for granted.
I think it's just all about how you look at it. Shit, like you said, yeah, it was a loss, but shit, I look at it as a lesson type shit. I gotta learn something from this. Every setback is set just for a comeback. That's all it is. So I gotta look at what happened, assess some shit, and then just try to come back even stronger in a different type of way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think that's the biggest thing that people gotta take away from when shit go bad. When you lose type shit, just take away some shit, man. See what you can learn from this and then grow from it.
So you also touched on like being a college student and running a business. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. To this day, whenever I text you, I'm like, bro, how you do this shit, bro? No, cause bro, that shit not easy, bro. Like, bro, you have a whole schedule you gotta abide by for school, right?
Yeah.
And then you gotta, that's not necessarily a schedule, but you got a schedule to abide by when you also go into the sporting world. You gotta schedule meetings to meet with athletes at a certain time. You gotta make sure they are free for you and also you are free to meet with them. How do you balance stuff like that?
So, in the beginning, I'm not gonna tell you it was easy. It was not easy. Like, I was driving myself crazy because I didn't know how to balance all of this. I was taking last semester. I was taking fall 2021. Yeah, I was taking 5 classes. Then all those classes coming in, you have homework. Then my business would need me. I was just driving myself crazy. Like, there were days I would not come out of my room for like 3 days.
Damn.
Cause I was driving myself, not talk to nobody. I actually I thought I was falling out with my friends a little bit. I was like, man, like I'm not that the Damola in me is not the kind of person to fall out with my friend. Like, those are my brothers. Like, I would never just like fall out with but it was just like, man, my business. But the biggest person that I would say helped me through this whole process, well, I like to give her flowers in this podcast is Sheila. Sheila, oh my gosh, like she's the most goal oriented woman I have I've been around. Like, everything.
Shout out Sheila for real.
Shout out Sheila for real. Like, everything, the way she schedules herself. Like, I got this in class. I would just look at her like, man, she always got the iPad with her. Like, I gotta do this at this time. I gotta do this. The more you gotta learn how to do this. When I approached my day like that, it just made things easier for me. Like, you know, me getting on this podcast, you know, it was been planned. I wrote it in my schedule. I said, I got a podcast today. Came here. I write down the schedule, like, oh, this is my classes. This is what I have to do on Tuesday. Wednesday, when I don't have classes in the morning, I dedicate that time to Mol Sports. Whatever I got to do is, you know, there's a lot of
upside to planning.
Yeah, and there's a lot of posts that I haven't posted. That's why I compare this to a rapper, because it's like, you know, they have music that they can't drop yet because of certain things. It's like, I have some posts that I can't drop it because I got to look at the timing. Like, okay, it's football season. Like, if I post basketball right now, like, it's kind of like a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So,
off,
yeah. So then I got to post football the next day. Then it's going to be like, man, what's going on? Like, you kind of, yeah. So you got to keep things out of balance. Like, you know, then I got the soccer team. We're going to talk about that next. Yeah, so just every day. Nowadays, my job is easier now. I got a schedule. Like, tomorrow, I got something I got to do with Armani. You guys will see tomorrow. You know,
That's big though. Like, it's just the fact that, like, bro, being able to literally sit down and plan your day to day like that is actually like, it's respectable, because I feel like a lot of college kids, like, we don't know how to plan because we haven't really been taught how to plan. Like, you know, your teachers used to emphasize plan your schedule. I
never knew how important that was to right now. Like, elementary school, they always tell us, like, write down your schedule for your homework.
Planners. You
Yeah,
get them planners every year, bro.
Your homework is due on Monday. And I used to be like, why we got to write there? And I would go off my memory, like, Then you go to class, you don't do the homework.
Bro, I ain't write that shit down.
Yeah, and they tell you because you didn't make your schedules.
You completely forgot about it.
But now that I started making schedules, like, okay, yeah, I'm actually getting things done, and it's much better.
Yeah, man. You keep your day more organized. And,
Yes,
and
sir.
you just follow the schedule, man.
Yes,
But
sir.
you touched on the soccer team, man. I've been seeing. I seen that, man. You actually got a soccer team. It's not just a sports agency, though.
The soccer team got a big announcement coming up. I don't want to drop it yet. But it got a big announcement coming up. That's why the Instagram is nothing there, because, man, I got big changes coming up.
That's what's up.
That's
but
what's up.
but just touch on basically how you went about basically just forming it, shit like that. Your first game that you had and shit like that, going about scheduling that and just the whole coming together process.
So it actually started with Cedric. Not I actually said like no, you know Cedric. We know it was to Cedric. Like I met him through Cola. You know Cedric. You know, I saw he play soccer at EIU. Then he reached out to me. He's like, I don't want to play anymore, but I still want to be involved. And I was like, hey, I want to start a soccer department at Mol Sports. Let's do something. Then we organized a tournament at Montrose. Man, I knew soccer was, I didn't know it was that big, till I saw the turn. Austin was there. Like, the whole community came out. People that don't play soccer came out. Like, people my culture came out. Like, the whole field was, I think it was like 50 people on the field. It was like, I was constantly just moving up and down. You know how it is. Damola, come here. Damola, come here. There's something going on here. Oh my God. Yeah. So, just running up and down. Then, one of my guys, two of my guys, three actually, told me, like, their experiences. Yijro, Basit, and Lana. Yijro and Basit, I played soccer with them in high school. Fun stuff. I wasn't good at soccer. I can't say I was the best player. You know, I was the guy on the bench. Like, keep going.
You know your role though.
You gotta play your role. That's what I feel. You know, can't be a bench player acting like a star player, man. You gotta play your role. You know, they were telling me they want to play soccer, but they don't have opportunity. You know, they want to get in the landscape of, like, you know, keep playing. They don't want to stop playing. They love the game a lot. They told me I got to keep this going. It was actually, I reached out to a soccer agent that I met through a guy that I was staying in the B&B with in LA. That's why I said you never know who you're gonna meet. That's why you gotta treat people with respect. So I reached out to the guy that the B&B I stayed in LA. He told me, you saw Mol Sports. He's like, I see you run an agency. I was like, yeah, but I'm trying to grow my soccer department, because the guy was Nigerian, Walter. He was like, I know a soccer agent. You should reach out to him. I called the soccer agent. Man, that guy has a fantastic story. Like, he told me how the business is. Like, soccer agency is not like an easy job. It's harder than basketball and football.
Oh, because there's a lot more of them.
It's a lot. Like, it's all over the world too. Yeah. So you gotta have that, like, that money side setting. Like, oh yeah, you gotta travel to Brazil. Some days you gotta travel to London. Some days you gotta. So he was telling me all that story. He told me how he represented Ronaldinho, one of my favorite players growing up. So many stars. Then he told me about this league called the UPSL. And I was like, oh, okay, UPSL. I searched it up. It was a league. And I reached out to Basit. I was like, hey, let's join this league. They were down. We joined. We did the registration. I got players on board. A lot of players on board. I think that was my biggest mistake that I did. It was like, at the beginning, it was no structure. Like, I didn't have people to tell me, like, this is how you run a team. And that's the beautiful thing about starting, because if you do fail, you learn from it. That's why I said I got a big announcement coming up, because I learned from what I did last season. Now I want to do it better. Now I want to win, because I felt the pain last year, and it was hurt. Like, it was hurting that we didn't have a great season. We won 2 games out of 10.
That's still a better turnout from just from starting though.
Yeah, I was just
still
gonna
putting
say,
the team.
The biggest thing that I want to touch on, the biggest thing I want to give you credit on is, like, it's the amount of the very little amount of time between formulating the idea and putting it into, like, motion, actually putting that shit in the fucking play. Like, a lot of people get caught in the idea phase, like, should I do this? Should I do that? You say, fuck it, I want to start this soccer team. Let's take the steps to do it, and you form that shit in probably, I'm guessing, like a few months, type shit.
No, actually, it was we entered the league in November of 2021. The season didn't start till April, which was early.
Okay.
I thought it was going to start in June, but it started in April. I was still in school. So every weekend I'll be going to the city back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's when I had my car. Well, I don't want to talk about my car. I'll go to the city back and forth. It was tiring. Like sometimes I'll just be back going from the trip back. I'm doing homework on my way back from the games. That's what people don't see. Most of these guys don't even see me as a student. Like I'm still a student. I still gotta abide to homework is due at 11:59, just like everybody else in the room. Mm-hmm. So going back, doing homework, I gotta come back next weekend. Actually, again, we played at Indiana. That I drove the van to Indiana, 3-hour drive on Saturday. Like I had an exam on Friday, and I woke up 7 a.m. went to Chicago, grabbed the van, drove 3 hours, and I was just sitting there like, man, like. This is how my Saturday is, like 21
You really
years old.
start thinking like, yeah, like, that's what it is.
Yeah, like some of my friends, they having fun right now. I'm driving the van with 20 players in the back. So I'm like, man. Yeah. Then the ride back home was actually fun. Because when you, like, these guys are amazing people. The conversations you have, different guys from different nationalities, Italian, Mexican, Nigerian, Ghanaian, just in one room, just talking like how their personal life is, and you learn so much from it. You know, you gather so much information from it. Like, man, you can actually relate to these people. Like, yeah, like we may seem different from where we came from, but what makes us, like, a lot of us similar is our background. Like, we had to work for what we got. We got to work for what we got. You know, people, they try to limit us because like our parents, they're not from here, so they'll tell you like, man, like this country is not built for you. That's why every door that I step in today, I gotta break through it, because they don't expect somebody like me in this agency business. Like, I went to Vegas, and this guy looked at me. He was like, "You have an agency? How old are you?" I said, "I'm 21." He looked at me. I had to take a step back. He's like, "How you start this?" And I was like, "Man, I started this. Like, hey, you're gonna respect it." Then he gave me his car. We went to this party. Party was epic. Matt Barnes was at that party. Who else was that? John Moran was there. His dad was there. So many, like, yeah, like you got to break through a lot of barriers, and that's what the soccer team really opened up opportunities for me. And I don't regret starting it, but this time around,
you're gonna do something different.
I'm winning it. You know, I got to win this time, not just for me. I feel like it's for the community. It's for like we need this right now. There's a lot going on like around us. We're dealing with a lot, so. If I can use this to bring positivity, that's what I'm gonna do.
Like, that's one thing too. Like, you kind of like always like emphasized on like the community. Mm-hmm. Like, how does really having a community like support, inspire, and keep you like going? You know, because I feel like sometimes people give up because they don't have other people giving them support. So like how did the community change the game for you?
No, my community was actually a great community. Like, uptown area, growing up, it was after school, everybody's going to Clarendon Park. We're playing basketball. It's had guys playing basketball, guys playing football, guys playing baseball. Then it was just like, as we grew up, everyone just started to separate. Everyone started going to different areas to do what they love, different this, different that. And that actually just had me thinking, like, why don't somebody start something in this neighborhood that brings us together? Like, we actually make noise, like, this is what we do in this neighborhood. This is uptown. Like, we have talent. Like, a lot of guys have talent. I watch these guys grow up. I remember when we used to come to my house. When we like, I just had 3 touchdowns, 200 plus. I don't know how many yards he had. You know, he used to just come to my house, just telling me stories. Like, I had this yards. Rocky used to come. Like, I just had interceptions. Everybody was. Even I played football too. I wanted to play football. You know, my mom, you know, I be telling her, but we gonna talk about that. Man, he was telling me stories like I used to be like, and everybody just started separating it, like, you know, and then I didn't look at it as a good thing. Then with Mol Sports, it was kind of just bringing everyone together. Like, you never see all these guys come together. Like, I never see, like, Wemmy want to hoop now again, like, just for fun though, Yeah. But not the same Wemmy no more.
But that's still decent though. Like, just still the fact that like it's just like you see good in the community that people wanted to separate from. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes like everybody might have it, you know, different outlook on their environment or outlook on their neighborhood that they come up in. So then they be like, okay, I don't see nothing else for me, so I might as well just leave, you know?
Yeah,
But then you're like,
yeah.
okay, but hold on. There's more kids, there's more outdoors, there's more talent, there's more positive stuff that can actually happen in a neighborhood like this. And then you're like, hold on, let me bring this community together. Maybe if I bring us together, it's a good way of us actually collaborating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes as people, like everybody want to do shit on their own. Everybody want to like be this, be that, be this. But sometimes all it takes for you is, bro, for 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, 5 minds come together, and that's an empire.
You know what's crazy? You know, the amount of opportunities Mol Sports has provided people. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say like I did it.
Yeah.
Because I did it. I didn't do it. Like, I just provided the resource. That's what I wanted to do as a kid growing up. I used to always tell myself, when I'm in the position that I am to do something big, I'm gonna give back. Like, give back to everybody that been along with me through the journey. So many guys have started living their dreams. Like, I remember when Tommy reached out to me when I first, my last year. He's like, you want to get back in the camera world? Like, can I come to an open run? Came. He ain't have, man, that was one of my proudest moments, because I basically like got Tommy living his dream. Now Tommy's in Utah right now with Talent, like with the Jazz, like filming, doing contact.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he snapped. Like, you see him at concerts.
You see him everywhere.
Yeah, on
You see him
stage.
everywhere.
He snapped. You see David, Prestige Visuals, like all this opportunities, like these media guys. Like, I just sit back, like, just like I'm proud of these guys, because they started off doing sports. Now they ventured out to other things. Like,
They're not limiting themselves.
they're not limiting themselves, and I don't want people to do that. And that's why I always tell myself, like, when people tell me like, don't want, it's God, man. God gave me the gift, and I'm gonna use God's gift to help people.
So I feel like being in the sports world, you get a lot of advice from like outside people that are not in the sports world. How do you go about, because I feel like sometimes they tell you only take advice from people that are in your like business venture,
Yeah,
so like, how do you
yeah.
go about just blocking out noise from people that are not in the sports world giving you advice?
Man, it's a lot of noise. When I tell you it's a lot of noise, there's a lot of noise. Constantly, when me being in this business, you have somebody come up to you thinking that they know it all, but they actually don't. People want to partner with you and do events with you, but when it's time to do the event, they flake because they don't really have the resources. They just talk. People just talk big game, like, man, we're gonna help you out. And I was just like, come on, let's do it. But when it's time to do it, when it's the fourth quarter, that's when they fold under pressure. Like, oh man, we can't. Man, I think we gotta do this next time. Like, and it pisses me off. It's like, bro, I just put in all this work, and now you're telling me like, that's part of the journey. Like, you're gonna meet people that talk big game, but they don't actually have it in them. Then you have other people that tell you like, man, like, you don't have a big name. Like, why you keep posting? Why you doing that? Why you doing this? Why you doing? But one of the biggest thing I saw on Instagram was, everybody started small before they became big. Mm-hmm. Like, nobody knows the Rich Paul story. I had to look at the Rich Paul. Rich Paul was an intern for Leon Rose. Leon Rose was a sports agent for 12 years before he became Rich Paul that he is today. LeBron's boy, just running around doing errands for LeBron. Just started from somewhere. Like, me doing this right. This is where God want me to start, and I'm gonna start this. Then when it's my time to go, then it's gonna be my time. You just gotta enjoy the moment.
Enjoy the process.
Enjoy the process. You don't rush. Don't rush. That's when you fall. Like, if Rich Paul had said, "Oh, I'm ready to be an agent," so and so years ago, shit, we might not know him. There might be no clutch, shit, like all that stuff that comes with it. Jay-Z started his Rock Nation when he was 45. Now look at Rock Nation right now. So it doesn't matter how you start, it's how you keep building consistency. That's what has gotten me farther along the way. If I just said I was going to stop doing this because of one bad moment, I don't think I would have been where I am today and where I'm going to be in the next couple of years with this. And that's why I got to tell people consistency. Block out the noise. People talk to me all the time. But nowadays, I don't listen to it. If you're not gonna bring value to the team, so when after everything that I've sacrificed to start this, I don't want to listen to you. Like, it comes along with that. You know, I'm not gonna listen to outside noise. If you're not helping me, please just don't come and disturb me, man.
You said I'm at peace. I'm at peace.
Yeah, I'm at peace, man. I'm at peace with life. You know, I don't rush things anymore. I take everything daily. In this life today, we're too caught up on what's going on in social media. Like, we see this guy get this guy get that. Yeah, we want to get, oh my God, I want to be this dude. But you don't realize it's like there's certain things that's going on behind the scenes that, you know, they may post the flashy cars on Instagram, but they're actually not happy in their personal life. We don't know how they're living.
Yeah, we just touched on that last episode.
Yeah, we don't know how they're living. And it's like, that's one of the things. I love social media. Like, if it wasn't for Mol Sports, I wouldn't be active on social media, to be honest. Because it's an app, like, it drives you crazy. And it's like, the only time I put on social media is like, you see I put some motivational stuff or music. That's the only time I put it. I've grown so much because the old me on social media, oh my goodness. I look back on my Snapchat memories, I'm like, oh my God. But I feel like I've grown so much, and it's a good thing. But like nowadays, I just want to tell people, like, just slow down. Your time is coming, you know.
It's like social media is making people grow up so fast. And it's just it's just growing up so fast. Like, yes, it's good to grow up fast, but also you gotta, as a society, we are not used to, we shouldn't be consuming this much information at a time. We consume so much information day to day through social media that you don't even realize. Like, you have input, output. You just have so much stuff running through your head that you're not even giving time to process.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where, like, a lot of people just, like, sometimes, bro, you take somebody's phone away, they might damn near think you killing them. No, bro, like, that shit's sad, bro. My grandma tells me, bro, you all don't know none about life without no social media. You know, we used to have fun. And then I be sitting there, I'm like, we have fun, but I feel like we don't. Like, it's hard to have the conversations with people because everybody just, attention span for everybody is like, damn, they're 2 minutes. Everybody just want to be on their phone, cut out their noise, and just be on their phone, keep scrolling because it's easier.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know, man. I was gonna say shit. That's the new world.
It's the new world, but I just feel like,
but there's a lot of opportunities.
There's a lot of opportunities
that comes with social media.
That's a lot of
like
opportunities.
what I have going on, social media has helped me out in a big way.
I was gonna say shit. A lot of the things that people do, when you look at it, without Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, without that shit, a lot of motherfuckers wouldn't be making no money because they wouldn't have no way to put this shit out to people. You got all these platforms.
That's what makes me mad about some people that use social media. Like,
you want to be on the paying side, not the consumer side.
Like, you have so much talent that you can use this platform for, and you want to be here
and just
talking
keep
about
scrolling.
useless things. Like, that's not going to benefit nobody. Like, you see, like, I draw a lot of inspiration for a lot of people on social media. Like, people always tell me, like, why do I listen to Jay-Z a lot? I mean, yeah, he's a great rapper, but not everybody listens to him nowadays. But I listen to him as, like, there's message in his music, and that's the way I move. Like, if you listen to his lyrics, like, everything he says, he has done it.
That is true.
He has done it. Like, a lot of rappers, you know, you hear the music, they did this, but they actually never did it. But I'm like, when you hear Jay-Z get on the record and he talks about the things like he's rapping about, then you look at his personal life, like, he's actually did it, done it. He's been there before. He's like, you just marvel at it. Like,
I think that's why it hits so hard because
you
feel that shit.
Yeah, that's the way I move now. Cause it's like,
so militant.
Yeah, militant. Like, I'm not gonna cap to people. Like, whatever I say, I've done it. I'm not gonna sell this fantasy story, and that's what makes my sports energy. So I'm not selling this fantasy story. Like, if an athlete reach out to me, I'm gonna be like, bro, this is what I have for you. I'm not gonna sell you a dream. I'm not gonna sell you a dream. I'm not gonna tell you, oh, if you sign with me, you can get Nike, you can get Adidas, you can get this, you can go to the Lakers. I was telling the honesty. You gotta tell them the truth. Like, this is how I started. You know, this is what I got going on for me right now. You want to tap in and start off and grow with me, I would love that. But if you don't, I'll respect that. You know,
just keep it a buck.
Just keep it a buck. And I'm gonna support you wherever you go. You know, I'm gonna always keep that love going. That's the way it gotta be.
It's the fact of being real with them. Because like you said, like they already have so much stuff going in their head. They don't want you to selling them a delusional dream. Like, because then like if it's not realistic to them, they might as well just have gone somewhere else. But you want to be able to tap into as real as possible and let them know what's coming and what's up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's really good for like anybody that's working in the business world or the sports world. Like you want to be as real with your athletes as possible. Like you have a bad day, look, you had a bad day, but I know your talent. I know how you can improve, and I've seen you improve. Just keep working. And sometimes I feel like that's all they need to hear.
That is all they need to hear. Tomorrow's a new day to get better.
It is factuals, man. Very facts.
And going along the same line too, though, like like you've been touching on this from the get go of the podcast, like how you always wake up feeling like blessed and feeling like has this always been something, or was this something that you worked on? You know,
It was something I was working on. Obviously, we all know what happened this past summer. This summer was actually one of the worst summers I ever had mentally. There were times where it was like I used to be scared to go home because it was like when I go to sleep, I can't sleep because I'm thinking so much. It's like it has me up all night. So I would just be like, man, I can't be at home, just getting home late, just to run away from my problems. Then boom, it's like a blessing came in my life. Just show me the ways that it's like, you know, I got you. Like we're gonna work on these things together. You know, we're gonna do this. And that blessing actually showed me like, man, I did like, you know, somebody actually out there that actually wants to see you get better. She like that, you know. Then I started working on it, and it was like, man, like you start finding yourself even more. Like touching on that All-Star game that I did, I actually didn't want to do it anymore. Somebody told me, hey man, like you gotta do this, like, and I did it. You know, it was a great turnout. Like
turnout.
it's telling after the All-Star, they telling me like, bro, like so was in the game. I'm merged. I'm sitting on merge. He was at the game. I couldn't pay attention. Like they telling me, a lot of people came out and touching on that All-Star game. The All-Star game actually opened a lot of doors for me. I met so many people that I'm working with now. Like I got a new and improved team that I'm working with right now. They've helped me out. We're getting sponsors. Like people reaching out to me that actually want to help me grow with this. It's Elijah came in. He's actually therapy equipped. They got a massage gun. And I'm actually going to join the team soon. We're actually trying to further out from massage guns. We're trying to do like workout gears. But before we start that, we're going to reach out to a lot of people, see what they think, like which one's going to sell. Because obviously you don't want to get in there and just bring it out. Because there's a lot of workout stuff going on. So everybody has gear and stuff like that. Well, you got to have the one that stands out, that's going to grab attention. That's what I learned from Mol Sports. Like, you got to separate yourself from what others are doing and stand out. And that's what I want to do. And, like, that's what that blessing did. It's like, when a blessing comes in your life, you got to take it. Just show me a lot. Like, you're more than what people view you. Like, that's why I am where I am today. You know, I take life easy, peace, and all love, man.
That's really good too, though. Like I want to commend you for just the positive outlook you have on life, because I feel like that's some shit that, like, sometimes even me personally, sometimes I struggle with it. You know, just
everybody.
Like you just look at life, you're like, is this it? You know what I'm saying? Like you just sit there, like, is this it? But I feel like it's just being able to work on that, and I want to commend you for like just always working on that and just.
No, by the way, you know, a lot of people are not gonna say this because it's like a guy thing. Like you don't want to show emotions.
Yeah.
But I started therapy.
How was that?
I started like last week. It was my first time. I actually did it before. It wasn't a good turnout. I ended up just.
So what made you want to go back again? You know, because I feel like sometimes you do something one time, you don't want to do it again.
No, let me tell you the funny story about the first time I did it. It was actually what happened when I had my car. So I went to therapy because I was just like, what's going on with life? You know, I didn't want to talk to nobody to show emotions. They asked me all these questions, and I'm like, why she want to know so much about me? And I told her, I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you this. I'm not coming back anymore. I never came back. She still reached out. I don't respond to her. It was last week. I tell you, she was like, well, I'm happy you want to make this change in your life. And I was like, yeah, man. Then we spoke. It was actually the first time I actually opened up about what I had going on. You know, like as a guy, they expect you to be strong, and that's the mantra that I always go along with. Like, there's a reason why I don't talk a lot, because I have so much going on, but I don't talk a lot because I don't want people to know what I have going on, like emotionally. Then that was the first time I opened up, and it felt good. Now I got one next week. I'll go back.
That's really good.
Yeah,
that's really good. Being able to like open up and also her listening, because I feel like sometimes people get so concerned with themselves that they don't care for what the other person got to say. But like,
yeah, that's something about me. Yeah,
like that's really good for her to take the opportunity to actually sit.
And she
down.
never gave up on me. Like, some people would just be like, I don't want to reach out to this. Like, he's not serious. But it's that fact that you constantly just reaching out, how you doing? I ain't responding. Then the first time I went back to her, she basically just called me out. Like, you can't be doing stuff like this. And I agree with her. Being in a business where I agree with her, because I can yeah, man, like,
you don't want your athletes not responding to your tests.
When people email you, you gotta respond back. Like,
I was just finna say, her being persistent though, that's something you're not gonna see a lot of shit. Motherfuckers steady hitting you up like, are you okay? This and that.
I was like, why is she?
And you ain't saying nothing back. A lot of 99% of people on the planet, they gonna be like, man, fuck him, man. Get back in touch with me.
She told me, she was like, you can't be doing that in this world. That's why you're not gonna get a lot of people to work with you or opportunities. Like, you just leaving them afloat. Like, I ain't reach out to her because I was like, I don't need therapy. Like, I got me, I got myself. Then you start to realize it's like, man, I got a lot of work to do. Then I actually do need. I can't keep hiding this, man. I gotta be a different person,
And it takes a real man to like acknowledge some stuff like that. Because I feel like you said, as a man, you just stop, be strong, don't be vulnerable. You like anything that happens.
Bro, my pops used to tell me that. I don't know.
Just be strong. Why are you showing emotions?
Yeah, like, man, don't cry. Man, don't do this. Man, don't do that. That's the way we grew up. Man, don't show feelings. Like,
and then sometimes you do gotta show that emotion. You do gotta go, talk to somebody. You do gotta take the next step, and that's respectable. Like, take going about it and making sure you change it for yourself. You're not only doing it for yourself, but for the people around you too. Because I think they're like, being able to open up to other people helps with how you communicate with others. Because you feel like, let's say somebody having a bad day, and also it helps with you and your athletes. Because like, if they're having a bad day, you can actually connect with them. You know what I'm saying? Because you that's a process you also going through. You helping yourself out, so you're not just bullshitting. You're not just talking out of his ass. You actually care for my well-being, and I feel like that's something good that your athletes can like hear this and just see that.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
But with all that being said, man, I want to say it's been a pleasure to have you on here, man. It's been a fantastic time. I had probably one of my best podcasts to date, for real. Like,
really has been. A lot of gems dropped.
Every time you're on here,
and you guys keep doing this. I'm watching.
Oh yeah,
you guys keep doing it.
You going nowhere, man.
Every time you've been on here, it's been a good ass episode. Like,
you guys keep doing this.
But before we let you go, you got, Mol Sport, Instagram, you want to share any?
Yeah, Instagram is Mol Sports. Follow us. Obviously, follow us. Every day we got something going on. Like, when I leave here, I got to go see my football player schedule. Like, what time each game starts, then how I'm going to start my Saturday. Like I always do every Saturday.
That's really good. But with that being said again, thank you so much. And
shout out Therapy Quick, Get Money Act Broke, Brain Fuel, Get Money Act Broke, my homie Saeed, he Snap. Everybody, every business is out there. You guys follow, give them a shout out. All love.
Yes. Also, Free Sauce, we out. And please,
Free Sauce Podcast.
Don't stop learning.
Never stop fucking learning, man. It's the fucking Free Sauce Podcast. We out.
We out.
While I'm just cruising down Lakeshore.